Reading from Radharasa Sudhanidhi by Prabhupada Saraswati. Actually, we're discussing text 161. Yeah, about this Nava Madhura, about the sweetness of Radharani's face. And we didn't read the purport of that verse. We just started speaking from the Sanskrit for some reason, which is basically what we collected from the purport. But this is text 161. It's describing the different features of Radharani's sweet golden face. Yadi kanaka sarojam koti chajam shupurnam nava makaranda yandi saundarya dhamam. Remember? Nava makaranda saundarya dhamam. That her face is a dham of beauty, it's an abode of beauty, and it's just trickling forth so much wonderful honey nectar. Bhavati lasita chanchat kanjana dwandam asya tarapi madhurahasyam datta dasyam natasya. Even if 10 million moonbeams and ever fresh honey would trickle from a golden lotus flower, then Sri Radha's sweet smiling face, with its frisky dancing wagtail-like eyes, who is the abode of beauty, could not even make it her servant. So we discussed how this verse is describing the brilliance of Radharani's face, the sweetness of Radharani's face, and the dancing eyes in Radharani's face. So in the purport, it explains here why Prabhupada Saraswati, he compares Radharani's face to a golden lotus flower. He's saying that sarojam, kanaka sarojam. He says yadi kanaka sarojam. This means golden lotus flower. So he says in the purport, it's telling that in his meditation he sees Radha's sweet face resembles a freshly grown golden lotus flower. And of course the lotus flower, it gives off honey. So beautiful sweet honey is dripping from that flower. And Vidagdha Madhav, Rupa Goswami writes, Mukulasa Phulam Kamala Vanam Ulangayate Cha. Radharani's blissful face defeats the beauty of an entire forest of blooming lotus flowers. How can her face then possibly be compared to a single lotus flower or to any object in the material world? Of course, obviously the answer is it can't be. In this world, the lotus flower does not match with the moon, because as soon as the moon rises, lotus flowers close their petals. But in the transcendental world, Radharani's lotus face, which is like a golden lotus, is filled with millions of moon rays. So this is the paradox, because he's saying, Kanaka sarojam koti chanjam shupurnam. The feature of the lotus is, of course there's a night blooming lotus, but he's not speaking here. The yellow, at least the yellow or golden lotus, opens in the daytime under the influence of the sun rays. But when the moon rises, then it closes. So he's saying that Radharani's face is a golden lotus, but this lotus, rather than closing under the influence of the moon rays, the lotus itself is emanating millions of moon rays. Koti Chandra Amshu Purnam. It is emanating the light. It's so brilliant. Her face is emanating the light of millions of moon rays. In the transcendental realm, the golden lotus of Radha's face is filled with millions of moon rays. So he's compared Radharani's face with the lotus flower because of the splendor, softness, and loveliness, deliciousness, and sweet fragrance. These are the things that Radharani's face has in common with the lotus flower. We can think of these things. That splendor, softness, loveliness, deliciousness, that means it's sweet nectar, and fragrance. It's quite different than any faces of this world. Certainly the face, we can't say that the face has a fragrance, at least a sweet and attractive fragrance. Then he says another point that makes in his comparison. He says that Radharani's face is the abode of all beauty and sweetness. Nava makaranda saundarya dhamma. So this is some comment here. That her golden lotus face shines beautifully when she is embraced by the moon. So ordinarily the moon closes the lotus flower, but there's a special moon. When this moon comes in front of this lotus flower, then this lotus flower blossoms with incredible splendor and beauty and sweetness. Do you know the name of that moon? Krishna Chandra. So when that Krishna Chandra, when that moon rises before the face of Radharani, the flower of her face, the golden lotus, then she really blossoms with love. And you see, it's also, even in this world, if someone sees someone that they really love and they haven't seen them for a long time, then their face actually blossoms. The feelings of the heart come out of the face. And because love is a bright feeling, a bright mood. There's some brightness to it, some tej to it. Because love is a symptom of life. The Atma is a source of love and a source of life. So when the Atma is in the body, then there's some tej to the body. When the Atma leaves the body becomes black, becomes dull. There's no tej. So this tej, this light of the body, is caused by the Atma. And the light of love is also caused by the Atma. So when one Atma meets another Atma, or one person who loves another person, so that light coming from the Atma, from the love in the heart, it moves out of the heart to the face, and the face becomes very brilliant, and the eyes start to twinkle, and get kind of sparkly eyed, and because the person's excited, love is moving, the heart is moving, and the light of the love is moving. So Radharani, when that Krishna Chandra comes before Radharani's face, then it ignites her heart. Her heart becomes ignited with so many beautiful, loving feelings, and then she, the golden lotus of her face responds by emanating so many beautiful feelings and emotions. So this moon especially rises during the rasa dance. At that time, Radharani's naturally sweet face looks even more sweet because Radha's beautiful face comes near. That's why they say that one becomes beautiful in the presence of beauty. So when we have love within us and we come in association with loving friends or loving people, then the love increases. This is the whole purpose of satsang. This is to shanti cha ramanti cha. Krishna says in Gita, Macchitama kata pranas bodhyantas parasparam katayantas tamam nityam. To shanti cha ramanti cha. That when devotees, Macchitama kata prana, when devotees come together and then they glorify Krishna, then they're actually churning their love in their hearts. Because devotee means someone who loves Krishna. This is the meaning of a devotee. Someone who's attracted to Krishna, someone who's attached to Krishna, someone who's interested in Krishna. This is a devotee. He has love for Krishna, something, either a small 1% or 5 or 10 or 100%. So when such lovers of Krishna come together, then they churn their hearts by speaking Harikatha, this pastime, that pastime, this quality, that quality. And when they do that, then they become Tushanti cha, Ramanti cha. Their hearts become satisfied to hear such Harikatha. And then when their hearts are satisfied, they emanate a loving vibration. Loving vibration means Raman. Raman means erotic love. Erotic union means Raman, or Ramani. Ramani means a lover. So it's Tushanti cha, Ramanti cha. Ramanti cha means the bliss that's emanated at the time of love. So the greatest love or the greatest light experienced in the material world is when lovers unite together, and their faces emanate a certain type of light and tej, and their eyes are twinkling, and all these so-called expressions of mundane affection. When devotees come together and glorify the love of their heart, then they really become bright, and the whole area becomes bright. So this is what's happening when Radharani in the rasa dance, when the face of Krishna comes near hers, and then she certainly becomes Krishna conscious. She becomes very Krishna conscious, and she becomes Tushanti. She becomes very satisfied, and Ramanti. She becomes very blissful, and then at that time she starts dripping with sweetness. Honey constantly trickles from Radharani's lotus face like an abode of beauty and sweetness. Makarande Shandi Saundarya Dhamma. So these, of course, are all experiences of one at the level of bhava. When one does meditation, he enters the Leela of Radha and Krishna and sees such beautiful scenes, and they paint the walls of his heart and create incredible impressions there. So Prabhupada Saraswati is such a meditator, such a devotee, that he's seeing such a vision. It's called Spurti or Vispurti or Saksha Darshan, and there's just a difference in intensity between the three, or intimacy, but they're all transcendental revelations. Swayam eva spuratyada. And they come in a pure seva mind and seva heart. When the heart is saturated with seva, and the mind is saturated with seva, then such visions are granted. You're granted a vision, like you go to a country and you're begging for a visa. Please give me a visa to America. So they have to grant you the visa. They have to give it to you. You can't force it. You say, hey, give me a visa. Do you know who I am? Hey, sit down. Get in line. They may throw you out. You say, no, look at my biodata, my portfolio. I'm a big man. Hey, you get in line. Be quiet. Shut up. Fill out the application. So these visions are granted by the Lord. They're gifts. These are treasures. They're gifts. So Prabhupada Saraswati has received such a great gift. And he's trying to bless us with some abhas. It's called abhas. Some semblance of that vision. Some reflection or some idea of that vision. Oh, Radharani's face is like this? So sweet, so beautiful, so attractive, and her eyes are dancing like this. They're so brilliant. Will I someday see this face? When will I see this face someday? Will I be granted a visa? My application is there. I've submitted my application. Will I be granted a visa? Will I be given a sporti? Well, yes, you can get a sporti. You can get this vision if you don't want to see anything else. As long as you want to see other things in this world, then you're not really interested. You have other interests. Anya vilashita. So I guess we'll stop there, because it's quite an austere situation today. Any comments, questions? Radha Rasuranidhi ki jai. Reading from Radha Rasuranidhi by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. This is text 162, an ongoing discussion of the Rupa Mahima, Radhika Rupa Mahima, the glories of Radharani's form. And we're specifically discussing the Vandana Chandra Mahima, the sweet glories of Radharani's indescribably beautiful moon-like face, which are described in many, many verses of the Radha Rasuranidhi. Sudakaram Udakaram Pratipad Sparan Madhuri Durina Nava Chandrika Jaladi Tundilam Radike Atriptahari Lochana Joya Chakora Payam Kada Rasambudi Samunnatam Varana Chandram Ikshetava. This is a verse number 162 in translation. O Shri Radhike, when will I see your moon-like face that makes the material moon seem useless, whose new, always shining moonbeams, the moonbeams of your face, make the ocean of sweetness swell, that is a soothing drink for Hari's unsatiated chakora bird-like eyes, and that moon-like face rises from the ocean of ras. So when this verse describes that the moon of Radhika's face has risen from the ocean of ras, because we see in the material world that the moon rises in the east, and if you happen to be standing in Jagannath Puri, which is a good place to be standing anytime, and it's moonrise time, you'll see the moon is rising over the ocean. It's called an ocean, it's the Bay of Bengal, but it's quite vast, and the appearance is that the moon is rising over the ocean. And this is the analogy he's using this, that the ocean is full of water, of course, and the moon is rising from that. So then ras means liquid or flavor or mellow or divine rapture. Radharani's face is rising from that. So he's explaining that. The first point is that in the purport there's the face of Radharani, which has all these attributes: Sudakaram, Mudakaram, It's Sudha, it's a nectar, Spuran Madhuri, and it manifests so much sweetness. So one point it's mentioned in the purport here, they're quoting to describe how Radharani's face pleases all of Krishna's senses. In other words, Krishna's eyes and ears and all of his senses, his indriya, become very pleased by Radharani's face, because Radharani's face has so many attributes, because her face is transcendental and extraordinary and unique. So there's one verse that's quoted here from Krishna Karnamrita by Bilvamangala Thakur, and it says let's say the English, we can read the English. After a long time, the moon has become qualified to serve as a lamp to offer to you in arti. But after the arti, it is just thrown away, like any other offered lamp. This is very nice. In other words, it's useless to compare your beautiful face to the moon. So in this verse, Bilvamangala Thakur, he's describing Krishna, not Radharani, but he's describing Krishna Chandra. We have this phrase, Vrindavan Chandra. One name of Krishna is Vrindavan Chandra. He's the beautiful full moon rising over the land of Vrindavan. And he's rising over the hearts of all the Brijvasis and drawing up and drawing out their intense love by his presence, by his beauty, by his speaking and acting. So he's using an analogy, Bilvamangala Thakur. He's saying that the moon has risen, so the moon is like a giant ghee lamp. Because it's brilliant, it's like light. Then you offer a ghee lamp when you do puja to Thakurji. You offer a ghee lamp around the face of the Lord. And even the ghee lamp is used in Krishna's Leela, in the Aparan Leela, when Krishna returns with Balaram and Sri Daman of the Coward Boys. And sometimes of the year it's very dark at that time. It's practically dark when they come back in the afternoon in the winter time. So you can't see very clearly. Of course, there's no street lights. And so Rohini Ma and Yashoda and Ambika and Kalimba and Dhanishta and other Sakhis, they come down from the hill in Nandagan to greet the boys. So Rohini, some of the maidservants, they carry some ghee lamps. And they come down, and when they get there, then they light a ghee lamp, Pancha Pradeep, and they offer to Rohini. And the Rohini, she helps Mother Yashoda, because Mother Yashoda, when you get something back that you haven't had for a long time, when you're separated from some person or object, especially if you're a mother separated from her child, as soon as she greets her child, she'll embrace him and smell his head and check all over his body. Everything's okay. Your arms are okay. Your feet, everything's here, and turn around and because the child is her everything. So she knows every part of the child's body, because she bathes the child every day and feeds him and puts him to rest. And so the body of the child is her own body. She thinks more and cares more for the child's body than even her own body. When her child's not there, she's thinking, oh, how is he? Is he okay? Is he safe? Is he sound? Is he eating well? Is he protected? And all these types of thoughts are flooding her mind and heart. And then when he finally comes after a long day playing out in the fields, and she's practically going crazy to see, oh, he's here. And she hugs him so tight as if she recovered a lost gem that she hadn't seen her son for 100 years. So Mother Yashoda has these feelings when she sees Krishna. So knowing that, then Rohini takes a ghee lamp, and she very slowly moves it around Krishna's face. And Mother Yashoda is holding his face like this, and and touch, and then she's going down his body, and then she's moving the ghee lamp down first around his face, because that's the most important. How's his face? Is okay, everything. Then down his chest, and she's looking, and he scratches. The boy scratched him, and then down his stomach, and she's going down, checking his feet, and the ghee lamp. Rohini's very slowly moving, very, very slowly, not like like they do. And sometimes you see they do arti, like so fast. Like they go, some firemen or something going to a fire on a fire engine or something. But if you go in other temples, they go so slow. It's like so slow because they maybe, of course, that's the way they're trained to do also, and that's the tradition. All over India, they go very much slow like this because traditionally there were no lamps, no lights in the temple. Sometimes some lamps are there in South India, ghee lamps, but there's no electricity. Now they're introducing electricity. So when you go for the general darshan of the Thakurji, like Guru Vayor or Udupi Krishna, or other famous Rangaji, other famous deities of the Lord, it's very, very dark. There's very few little ghee lamps here and there, because we've seen. It's very, very dark, and you really can't see. You can only see depending on the light of your heart. If your heart is well lit, then you can see very nicely the Lord in His darshan. But for most of us, our hearts are not very well lit. So when we come to take darshan, it appears very dark. Practically you say, where's the Lord? When you go to see Sri Rangam, you're looking like this. You're looking, where's the Lord? You're looking up because they say, He's a big deity, and you're looking up like this. Someone said, He's down there. Because He's lying down. He's not standing up. Most deities are standing up. Ranga, He's lying down. Ranganath. And your friend says, do you see the Lord? Yeah, He's nice. He looks really nice. It's very dark, black deity. Huh? Yeah, He's black. Huh? Oh, it's very nice. I see, He's very nice. Yeah, you have nice darshan. Yeah, nice darshan. And then your friend looks at you. What are you looking at? And you're looking like this. He's down here. He's lying down. He's down there. And they have 3 doors. You see His head through one door, His belly through one door, and His feet in another door, because He's long. He's like 16 feet or something long. If you ever go, you see. So generally when you go for the darshan, you can't see very clearly. But then there's artik. Then this is special mercy. 7 times a day the Lord gives darshan. Even to the anadhikaris. Those that have prem, then they have full darshan all the time. When the darshan is there, general darshan, they can see the Lord, because they see with the light of their heart, with the light of their love. Prem, it's called prem pradeep. Prem pradeep means the light of love. So they see. Whether artik or not artik, they see fully the Lord. But for the anadhikaris, they can see 7 times a day. Because 7 times a day, then the pujari comes with the ghee lamp. Big ghee lamp. So many different kinds that they have. And he goes very, very slowly, very, very slowly. Why? So you can get full darshan of the Lord. So you can see His sweet, beautiful lotus eyes and beautiful sesame flower nose and His beautiful lotus lips and His jewelry and all His beautiful form. But if you were an ISKCON Pujari in South India, everyone would throw you out. They say, I can't see, you go too fast, I can't see my Lord. So this is why they would go and so this was the tradition, even though some of these temples have introduced electric lights and tube lights and other things to keep up with the changing times. But still, this is the standard of the artik standard is still like this, so slow. And this was the reason they were so slow. Now that's in Vaidhi Marg, Archan Marg. But if you're on the platform of Bhav Marg or Rag Marg, then you're connecting whatever you're doing with the Nitya Leela of the Lord. This is the difference between Vaidhi and Rag. Rag, the power of attachment, Rag, brings one's heart and mind into the eternal. So the eternal is the Nitya Leela. So when the person is doing doing puja or bhajan, then his rag, his attraction will carry him, will uplift him into the eternal pastimes. So the one pujari in Vaidhi Marg, he's doing very slow. My guru told me to do very slow, show the face. So one on Bhav Marg or Rag Marg, he's thinking, I'm in Nandagan. This is the 4:30 artik, and Krishna is just coming back. It's winter time. It's dark now, and I've offered the ghee lamp to Rohini, and I'm standing behind her, and she says, today you offer the ghee lamp. So I'm offering the ghee lamp on behalf of Rohini. So I'm going very slowly around the face of Krishna so the Yashoda can see his face. This is Rag Marg. But you can't imitate. It's impossible to imitate. You can hear about it and think, it's nice, but you can't imitate unless you have rag. Because it'll all be false, and it won't last. Or you may do it one day, but you won't do it every day. So this is in the poetic mind of Kavi this Kavi Bilvamangala Thakur, he's saying that the moon is rising, and the moon is like a beautiful, that the firmament is offering a beautiful ghee lamp to worship the face of Vrindavan Chandra. And this moon has appeared in the sky in Vrindavan to as a ghee lamp to worship the beautiful face of Krishna. But then he's saying, but actually after Artik, after you offer the ghee lamp, and then the lamp is taken away. And then the ghee dries out, it burns out and dries out, and then you throw those wicks away. So he's saying that like any other lamp. So when you offer a lamp, then after a few minutes it burns up, and then you throw away the ghee lamps, it's over. So Bilmangala is saying that after the moon, he says after the moon is offered, like any other offered lamp, it's useless. Because once after 5 minutes the ghee burns up, then it's useless. You can't use it again. So actually I'm comparing your face to the moon, but actually this is useless. It's useless to compare the moon because your face is so much more beautiful than the moon. So in the same way, so that's Krishna's face. Krishna's face is like this, right? So the acharyas are explaining, they're trying to show you that this is how Krishna's face is. But Radharani's face is such a moon that moon face of Krishna, when he sees Radharani's face, then he finds the nectar there. And his eyes, although his face is that great, great beautiful moon, his eyes become like chakora birds. And chakora birds have the speciality of drinking the moon rays. They somehow, how it works we can't say. But there's some type of bird that flies and they drink the rays, the moon rays, and they feel nourishment there. They feel some sustenance there. And we can have a faint experience of this because in the full moon, if we go out in the full moon, we feel some nourishment ourselves, some psychic food. You say food for the mind or food for the psyche. And you feel somewhat rejuvenated if you sleep overnight on the roof in the moonshine. It's very soothing. And it's just as sun rays, if you go out in the sun rays, especially in the winter sun is very healthy in India, North India, according to Ayurveda. And you take that sun on your skin, it gives you so many vitamins and all this vitamin D and all these things. It actually nourishes the bones and skin and is also very good for the eyes. So that's the sun. It's effective. It's nourishing. So the moon also has effect. It can't but be. It's not that only sun rays have health qualities. The moon rays also have health qualities. And those are also understood in the finer sciences of Ayurveda, how moon rays are very healthy for the mind and other parts of the body. So the Krishna's chakora bird eyes, they become nourished by drinking the beautiful rays of it's Sudha, it's nectar. It's Sudha Madhura. It's sweet nectar for that chakora bird of Krishna's eyes when he sees the face of Radharani. So Radharani's moon-like face makes even Gokula Chandra, Vrindavan Chandra, the moon of Vrindavan, happy. And then we're mentioning how the point is how Radharani's face satisfies all the senses of Krishna. And there's a verse from Govinda Lilamrita, 11th chapter, verse 118, it explains that. Krishnendriyat ladi gunar udara, shiradika rajati radikeva, sarvopamanavali mardi shilan, yangani vangani chabantyamushya. With Radhika's beautiful qualities, she pleases all of Krishna's senses. Radhika shines like Radhika only. Radhika destroys the pride of all objects of comparison, like the moon and a lotus flower. Radhika's limbs are as beautiful as Radhika's limbs only. This Krishna's Kaviraj. He, unlike other poets in this particular verse, other poets, they compare Radharani to the lotus flower, or to the moon, or to these swans, or to other beautiful objects or things of this world. But he's saying, actually, we can only compare Radhika to Radhika. That all the other objects of comparison, they become, she destroys the pride. They can't have any pride. The swan can't think, the swan can't glide along the lake and think, I am very graceful. I am so graceful. There is no one as graceful as I. No one moves as graceful as I do. But then Radharani walks beside the Yamuna, And the swan looks at Radharani. Oh my God! Look how she walks. The way the gait of Radhika is. Oh, and then the swan puts his head under the water, like they fold their necks and put their heads under the water to tie up their necks in the lotus stems and eat the lotus stems. Look at the Radha. She's like the swan of all swans, the most majestic royal Raja Hamsa. She's walking like the most Maharaja Hamsa, the greatest of all royal swans. I better put my head in the water. I'm totally ashamed and embarrassed seeing how graceful she walks, how gracefully she moves, her arms and her hips and everything. So the pride, whatever pride that the Hansa had, is totally destroyed. His pride gets destroyed. And when the moon rises and thinks, oh, look, I have come, he's very, very proud. He thinks, see, before I came, all you guys thought you were something. You guys are the stars. There are millions of stars twinkling, and you thought you captured everyone's attention. All the world was looking at you, and they thought you were so bright. And even they were finding their way along the footpaths, just by starlight. In a village you can see by starlight. And you are very proud. See, we're lighting up the path for the people, and we're illuminating the whole sky. See how bright we are? But now I have risen. Now you take a powder. Now you are finished, because now I've risen in the sky and no one can see you. They can only see me. And I am lighting up the courtyards, I am lighting up the footpaths, I am lighting up the fields. People can read the newspaper under my moonlight. I am so bright. I am illuminating the whole universe. No one is as bright as me. I am shining, I am distributing my rays across the entire world. Millions of people can see their way and find their way. I am so bright. And all of you stars have been defeated by me, Chandra. So how proud the moon is. Right? Can you imagine if you were a boxer and you beat up 50 million people? 50 million challengers. So as soon as the moon rises, all those brilliant stars you can't see. They fade out. They're not there. You can't see. Now, when Radharani's moon face rises over Vrindavan, that moon hides. Oh my God! Look, see Chandramukhi. Chandramukhi has come, and she's lighting up the bowers. The kunjas along the Yamuna are lit up by Radharani's beautiful face. Oh, I feel so ashamed. I feel so ashamed of my light. Let me get out of here. And the moon runs away. The moon runs away in the presence of Radharani's moon-like face. So this is what Kaviraj is saying, that she defeats the pride of all comparable objects. They run and hide. So Radhika can only be compared to Radhika. The only object or the only person we can compare Radhika to is Radhika. So he says, Radhika shines. She illuminates like Radhika only. And Radhika's limbs, her body is as beautiful as Radhika only. So this is what he's saying. Although the moon engladdens the demigods by providing them nectar, no material form and taste can please the transcendental senses of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Only pure love, and Radhika, who has the most pure love, only she alone can make Krishna happy. So another point of the verse is saying the effect of the moon of Radha's face on Krishna. So one thing Prabhupada Saraswati describes the moon of Radharani's face, but then he describes what effect it has on Krishna. Because an ordinary moon, it has moon rays, and these moon rays act like nectar, like amrit. But the nectar of the ordinary moon is only a drop compared to the ocean of nectar trickling from Radharani's face. When the ordinary moon rises, it causes the ocean to swell, because this moon is very powerful. This moon is not a very big planet, but the moon is very close to the earth. It's very, very close to the earth. And the earth is quite small. So when the full moon is rising, any bodies of water, they start to rise along with the moon. The moon acts like a powerful magnet to attract the liquid objects. So on the oceans, when the full moon rises and the oceans have higher tides, the ocean rises up with higher waves and flows and moves higher up on the beach. When the moon is not there, the ocean comes up like this on the beach, on the shore, then goes back and like this. But when the full moon comes, then the ocean goes very far up the beach. So you see in Puri, if you live there for some time, that the boatmen, when the full moon is there, they tie their boats very far near the roadside. Because if they leave them closer to the shore, then when the high tide comes in the moon, it'll take their boats away. The water will come up the beach and lift up their boat and take it away. So they move their boats according to the movement. As the moon gets more and more full, they keep moving their boats further away from the ocean and tie them near the road. They're quite practical people. So they know that yes, when a full moon rises, that the water comes further up the beach. So this is a fact. So this is the material moon. But now look at the spiritual moon of Radharani's moon-like face. What happens there? When Radharani's face, it causes the ocean of the essence of sweetness to swell. So the essence of sweetness, the Madhurya Sagar, the Madhurya Sindhu, Krishna's sweetness personified. Rupa Goswami tells that in Nectar of Devotion. Leela Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Prema Madhurya. He's Madhurya Purushottam. This is Madhurya Dham Vrindavan. And everything's sweet. In Madhurastakam by Vallabhachari, he's saying Leelam Madhuram, Yamuna Madhura, Venu Madhura. Everything is sweet about Krishna. His pastimes, his flute, his Yamuna, his Hasyam Madhuram, his laughing is sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. Madhuradi Patera Kilam Madhuram. So this is Krishna. He's ocean of sweetness. So what could be more sweet than Krishna? So Krishna, he's the Madhurya Bhagavata Sara. This is one line from a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Madhurya Bhagavata Sara. That he is the essence. That this form of Bhagavan, he's the essence of all Madhurya. But, so he's like an ocean. Krishna's like an ocean of sweetness. So what happens to that ocean of sweetness when the moon of Chandramukhi comes before it? You can only imagine. When this ocean of sweetness sees, or when this moon of Radharani's face, the Chandramukhi Radha, when she appears before Krishna with her beautiful moon-like face, and Krishna, the ocean of sweetness, perceives that, then high waves of erratic transformations crash in Krishna's heart when he sees Radhika's moon-like face. So this is the effect of the moon. The material moon has a limited effect in the material world, but the moon of Radharani's face has unlimited effect in the spiritual world, especially on Krishna. So it also affects us. That's why materialistic people, if they're slightly inclined to devotion and they're somewhat pious, they come for darshan in the temple, but they don't stay very long. They go very fast, especially in Juhu. In Juhu Beach, you see in Bombay, the people are jogging on Juhu Beach, and they jog into the temple and they jog across for darshan. This means jogging. They come into the temple. They don't want to lose their step. Because they're jogging barefoot, so they don't have to take their shoes off. They come in the temple. They're going down the beach, and they come up the temple steps, and they come in the temple, and they come in front of Gaur Nitai. They go like this, and then and they go out. And they stay 1/2 second in front of Gaur Nitai, 1/2 second in Rasa Vihari, 1/2 second in Sita Ram. So then they run out. Because if they stay too long, and they perceive the sweetness of Rasa Vihari's face, then what will happen is that they'll give up their attraction to the material energy. This is the power. This is the effect of the Sudarshan. Because the Sudarshan is destroys. Sudarshan is a weapon, but the Sudarshan is also Krishna's face. So the moon of Rasa Vihari's face will actually destroy their material time. Because the Sudarshan chakra represents a time factor. This is the Sudarshan chakra represents time factor. So the Sudarshan of Krishna's face, the beautiful moon-like face, destroys someone's material time. That's what it means, Sudarshan. You say, I'm going to take darshan of the Lord. The Lord's face is Sudarshan. And that's when you see that face of the Lord, it's so sweet. Madhurana. Ana means ananam. Madhur ananam. Ananam means face. When you see the sweet face of the Lord, if you look too long, you'll be trapped. Then that face will become like a chakra, and that beauty of his face will be released. And when that chakra comes to you and hits you, It will destroy your material time. It will take away all your material time. You will lose your interest in the material world. You will lose your interest in material things. You will lose your interest in material activities. So the face of the Lord acts as a Sudarshan. So it's very good darshan. Sudarshan also means very good darshan. But semi-religious people, they don't want to give up their attachment to Maya, so they don't stay long in the temple. They go very fast in and very fast out. So this is the effect of Krishna's face when people see it. And when Krishna sees Radharani's face, then he gets lost. So we'll close on this point. It says that Hari, because the word is there, is here, it says Atripta Hari Lochana Dvaya Chakora Payam Kada. Hari Lochan. Atripta Hari Lochan Dvaya Chakora Payam. That the Lochan Dvaya, the pair of Hari's eyes are like chakora birds, and they drink, Paya means like piyala, they drink the sweet nectar of Radharani's face, Chandrika. Sudakaram Mudakaram Pratipad Spuran Madhuri. That her face is Pratipad, like we have Pratipadam, right? What's that verse? Purnamritam. At every step, so moment after moment, Radharani's face is manifesting Pratipadad Spuran Madhuri. Moment after moment, Radharani's face is manifesting the most beautiful sweetness. So, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. So this is also Sankirtan. The more we chant the holy name of the Lord, which is also Radharani. Pratipadam is also there in Chaitadarpana Marjanam, in the first verse of Shikshastakam. Pratipadam Purnamritam Swadanam. This nectar, full nectar, we experience step after step from chanting the holy name. Because chanting the holy name ultimately gives us Rup Darshan. Rup Darshan means Rup, that Nam becomes Rup. And then when we chant the holy name of the Lord, we see Radharani. We will see the faces being described here. We'll see, and then Spuran Madhuri. It's Pratipadam Spuran Madhuri. So this Pratipadam Purnamritam Swadanam, that what is this swad, what is this taste that we'll have moment after moment? One of the things is Pratipad Spurnan Madhuri. That Prabhupada Saraswati is saying Pratipada, same Pratipadam, Spuran Madhuri, that this holy name will manifest such sweetness, because we will see the same sweet face of Radharani, which is Sudakaram Mudakaram. Sudakaram Mudakaram. What this means is the Sudakaram, Suda means is a name for moon, because nectar produces nectar. And Mudakaram, Muda means full, right? Avajananti Mam Mudha. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those fools, Avajananti Mam. Avajananti means they don't know, they really don't understand at all. So that when I descend as a human being, that I'm not human, I'm transcendental. Avajananti Mam Mudha. So Radharani's face turns the moon into a fool. That's very significant. Sudakaram, Mudakaram. Sudakaram, Kara means like dew. He who does Sudha, he who does nectar, he who gives nectar, that's the moon. Mudakaram makes a fool. So Radharani makes the moon a Mudha. And that's significant because the Chandradev is a Brahmin. Chandra, the Lord of the Moon, Sri Chandradev, he's a Brahmin, and his wife is a Brahmani. And so and he's not a small-time Brahmin. He's very learned. He's a great Devata, the moon god, and he's a Brahmin. But Radharani is just a cowherd girl. She's just a cowherd girl, a Barsana. Barsana Wali ki Jai Jai Jai, Radharani ki Jai, Maharani ki Jai, Bolo Barsane Wali ki Jai Jai Jai, Kirtita Dulari ki Jai Jai Jai. So this Wali, this girl of Barsana, who's an Abhira, which is a very low class of Vaishya, it's called Vaishya, but Abhira Gotra, just taking care of cows. Vaishyas have land, they own land, and they have great power of money, but they're only caring for cows. They also have money, but they're caring for cows. And she has turned a Brahmin into a Mudha. Who is the Brahmin? Chandradev. Chandradev is a Brahmin. Indra is also a demigod, but he's Kshatriya. He's not a Brahmin. I mean, took Dvija, but he's not a Brahmin. But Chandra is a Brahmin. He's a Brahmin. So she's saying, Sudakaram Mudakaram. Pratipadat Spuran Madhuri, Durina Nava Chandrika Jaladi Tundilam Radhike. There's Radhika, her face is manifesting such sweet nectar, Pratipada, at every moment. Now look at the moon. The moon is only manifesting nectar when? When is the moon manifesting nectar? During Shukla Paksha. There's Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha. Shukla Paksha is the 15 days of the moon. Shukla means white. So when the moon is waxing, it's giving some nectar. And then only for a few days. When it's full, the Purna Chandra, then the nectar is manifested. When it's Ardha Chandra, there's no nectar, it's nothing. It's only a sliver. So, during Shukla Paksha, which is 15 days of waxing moon, Shukla Paksha, it gets, after Amavasya, then there's 15 days waxing moon. So it gets a little brighter, then finally Purnima. And Purnima, then the nectar is manifested, mostly on that day. A little bit before, a little bit after. 2-3 days out of the month. So 2-3 days out of the month, the moon is manifesting nectar, Sudha. But what about Radharani? Pratipad Spuran Madhuri. Pratipad, every step, means literally, Pratipad means every step, which is a poetic way of saying moment to moment. Moment to moment, Radharani's face is Spuran means sporty, Madhuri, manifesting sweet Madhuri, nectar. Moment to moment. So when one chants the holy name without offenses at the Namabhat stage, then he begins to experience Pratibhat Spurad Madhuri, the sweetness of the name. That's called Ruchi. Nam Ruchi. There's sweetness. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swad. Purnamrita is some sweetness, is Abhas, Madhuri Abhas, at the level of Ruchi. But the Purnamritam Swadanam, that's Bhav and Prem. So just see the power of Radharani's face. The moon, she's turned this Brahman, Chandradev, she's turned him into a Mudha, Sudakaram Mudakaram. Right? That's the first thing. And then, okay, moon, okay, you produce nectar, Sudha means nectar. Sudakaram is a name for the moon. In poetics, they call the moon Sudakaram. He who gives Sudha. Radhara Sudha Nidhi. She's a Nidhi, she's an ocean, a treasure house, an unlimited oceanic treasure house of Ras, divine rapture. Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi. And this moon is just nothing. A few days a month it gives some nectar. But Radharani's Pratipadat Spuran Madhuri, manifesting nectar every step, moment to moment. Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, Amavasya. Where's the nectar in Amavasya? There's no nectar. In fact, it's hot. Amavasya is the hottest day of the month. The hottest night is on Amavasya. And that's why they tell people to fast on Amavasya, because the digestion gets disturbed. You get very disturbed on Amavasya. You get overheated, you get diarrhea, so many things. It's the hottest night of the month, Amavasya. Because there's no moon. There's no effect. No nectar is coming. But Radharani, on Amavasya, her nectar is flowing. Pratipadan Spuran Madhuri. That's her favorite night of the year. Favorite night of the month for Radharani is Amavasya. Because no one can see her when she moves out to meet Krishna for Avisar. Because she likes everything dark. She likes dark men. She favors dark. She's golden, but she likes dark men. Tall, dark, and handsome. Sham Sundar. And she likes black deer, not brown deer. Or black deer. And she likes dark blue saris, not yellow saris. And she likes black kajal, not pink eyeliner. Or green eyeliner. You use green or pink or yellow. She uses black. She doesn't like Purnima. She likes Amavasya, black night. She doesn't like Ganga because it's green. She likes Yamuna because it's black. And there's two kinds of soil in Vrindavan. There's Pilamiti and Kalamiti. Radharani likes Kalamiti. Varsana is full of Kalamiti. All the soil is black. So this is Radharani. So the moon of her face is something extraordinary. But it says here, Atripta Hari Lochana Dvaya. Atripta. Atripta means that unsatisfied. But then it says Hari. So we say, okay, the Radharani, the Krishna, the Dvaya Chakora, Lochan Dvaya Chakora, the Lochan, the eyes of Krishna are like Chakora birds. Two eyes are like two Chakora birds, and they're always drinking the sweet nectar of Radharani's moon-like face. But they're atripta. like tryptos or trypta. Trypta means satisfied, but there are trypta, they're unsatisfied because he can't drink enough. Krishna never becomes satiated. Oh, have some ice cream. Oh, you want more? No. Or kuch? No, kuch nay. No. Have a half a kilo more. No, I can't. I'll blow up. I can't eat. You can't eat. You can only eat so much and you reach a satiation point. You're saturated, you're satiated. You can't eat anymore. You can't see anymore. You watch one movie and 2 movies and 3 movies. Can you watch 10 movies in a row? No, your eyes will burn out. Your eyes will fall out. You have to at least sleep for 5 hours and then start watching more movies. How much can you see? You become satiated. How much can you eat? You become satiated. But you never become satiated hearing Hari Katha. But Krishna, it's Atripta Hari Lochan Dvaya Chakora. The Chakora birds of Krishna's eyes, they're drinking the moon of Radharani's face. Drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. And he still remains atripta, unsatisfied. He can never be satiated. There can never be a day when Krishna says, I've had enough. I want divorce. Krishna will never say, Radharani, I'm tired of looking at you. I don't want to see you anymore. Get out from here. Get out of my life. Never can be that way. So, this Hari means that Krishna says, the Acharyas are saying here, Atripta Hari Lochan Dvaya Chakorapayam. Krishna steals everyone's heart with his beauty and his sweetness. That's what Hari means, the thief. He steals everyone's hearts. But that Hari is never satiated with the nectarine beauty of Radha's moon-like face. Well, I said all that already. So this is the point. This verse is describing further glories of Radharani's face, comparing it to the moon. That face, the beautiful moonbeams and beautiful moonbeams of Radharani's face turned Chandradev into a fool, a mudha. A Brahmin becomes a mudha. It's like turning someone into a frog. You hear about these rishis. You become a frog. Punarmushika bhava. You become a mouse. That rishi blessed the mouse to become a tiger. Then the tiger wanted to eat the rishi. So then the rishi said, okay, I blessed you, you got so powerful, I gave you a tiger roop. Now again become a mouse. So Radharani turned a Brahmin into a mudha. Just by the beauty of her face. That's what Prabhupada Saraswati is saying here. Sudakaram, mudakaram, pratipadad spuran madhuri. So we can, from our viewpoint, this is the vision of Tunga Vidyasaki, Prabhupada Saraswati. Some people, Acharyas, Mahajans say he's Tunga Vidyasaki. One of Radharani's Astasakis. So she's seeing, he's seeing such beauty, such nectar, such influence, prabhav of Radharani's face, influence on Krishna, influence on the world. Radharani's face is influencing the moon planet and defeating all objects of comparison and completely controlling Krishna and satisfying him to no end. And he's seeing all that. So from our vantage point, we're not seeing. We are denied such a beautiful darshan. So reading about such a feast for the eyes, the spiritual eyes, the devotional eyes, we can respond to this description by praying and increasing our ashabandha, our hope against hope, that someday Radharani will reveal her beauty through the Nam Rup avatar, through the Nam Rup Hara avatar, Hara Nam avatar. In her beautiful form as a holy name, she will reveal herself. We will perceive her sweetness, taste the nectar of her face, and which is in her name, and have the same experience that Prabhupada Saraswati is so eloquently and poetically describing here in this verse 162 of Radharas Sudhanidhi. Any questions? Yes?
Was there any explanation about how Radharani saturates all of Krishna's senses?
Excuse me? Is there any explanation how she saturates all of Krishna's senses? Yeah, that's this. spoken in a general way here, but in Govinda Lilamrita itself, maybe in the same chapter, there's further verses describing how Radharani's form, and also there's verses in Madhyan Lila that describe how Radhakund, how Krishna, when Krishna comes to Radhakund, he sees Radhakund just like Radharani's form, and the water of Radhakund satisfies his tongue just like Radharani satisfies his tongue when he tastes her lips. And the flowers of the golden lotus flowers blossoming in Radhakund satisfy Krishna's eyes when he glances at them, just like when he glances at the lotus eyes of Radha. And when he smells the beautiful fragrances blowing off of Radhakund from the different flowers, lotuses and others, it satisfies his smell, a sense of smell, just like when he smells Radharani's Gandharvika's beautiful body. That's there. And then there's another, that verse is how Radhakund itself satisfies all of Krishna's senses, because Radhakund is Radharani, and he sees and perceives Radharani through all his senses. And then there's another verse that describes how Radharani herself, her various aspects of her transcendental body satisfy all of Krishna's senses. So as Krishna's tongue is satisfied by the taste, nectar of her lips, and like this similar thing, basically. And I believe those same verses from Govinda Lilamrita are also recounted in Anti Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita in chapter 16. Anti Lila chapter 16, where it's describing Lord Chaitanya is taking Jagannath Mahaprasadam, and he's in Radhabhav. And in Radhabhav, Krishna experiencing Radharani's Mahabhav, when he is taking Jagannath Mahaprasadam, she is experiencing, tasting the lips. It's all about the inconceivable experience of tasting the nectar of Krishna's lips through Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar Jagannath Mahaprasadam. And then in that course of discussion, there's also verses from Govinda Lilamrita to describe how Krishna satisfies all of Radharani's senses, including besides her lips. So that you can see there also. Thank you very much. Reading from Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur. This is text 185, which is describing the Varana Chandra Mahima, the wonderful glories of Radharani's moon-like face, Chandramukhi. This is another verse, verse 185. Lasadashna muktika pravara kanti puraspuran manogya nava palavadara manichata sundaram charan makara kundalam chakita charone chanchalam smarami tava radike varana mandalam nirmalam smarami tava radike Varana Mandalam Nirmalam. So this verse describes the spotless orb of Srimati Radharani's face. Orb means the circle. I mean, the word in Sanskrit is Mandalam Nirmalam. Mandala means circle, or in English you can say orb. You want. Vadana means face. Vadana mandalam nirmalam. Nirmalam means spotless, pure. This is a translation to this verse by Dasara Sutta. It's usually very poetic type. Beautified by gleaming teeth, like the finest of pearls, reflecting their lustrous aura upon fascinatingly fresh sprout lips, jewel-like radiant effulgence, with dangling crocodile-shaped earrings, means Makara Kundala. He says crocodile, because they have that mouth like a crocodile. Some people say dolphin. With dangling crocodile-shaped earrings and lovely eyes startled in their corners, I now remember, O Radhike, the spotless orb of your face. So this is Radharani's further description of Radharani's moon-like face. And here we hear about her lips and her teeth and her earrings, which are all features of her face. And there's some points here we can discuss. This term is there, Varana, Mandalam, Nirmalam. So then the question can be asked, why do we say that Radharani's face is Nirmalam? So we're hearing one pastime here in the Leela Sporti of Prabhupada Saraswati. He is granted a divine vision. He is allowed to see a beautiful pastime where Shyam is sitting next to Shama, Radharani, and they're both sitting together and they're examining the singing of a kinkari. One kinkari or manjari is singing for their pleasure. And this is one of the arts, 64 arts, that the manjaris learn. They may learn here in Sadhaka Vesh. If they don't learn here, then they'll have to learn. If you don't like music now, you better learn to like it. Because if you don't learn music now, when you enter the Bhoma Vrindavan Leela, then you will take music lessons and singing lessons from Vishaka. And the music school it's called the Govardhan Music School. And the classroom, there are various classrooms in the Govardhan Music School situated in caves of Govardhan. There are different caves in Govardhan. And you might ask the question, why is the music school held in a cave? Because when you first start singing, it really sounds bad. So if the Vishaka takes you into a cave and you sing off key, then when you sing in the cave, then no one's going to hear you, as we already mentioned. You're deep in the cave inside Govardhan Hill, and no parrots will be disturbed, no cuckoos will be disturbed, none of the peacocks will be disturbed. What to speak of the manjaris or coward boys? Who's that? Who's that singing like that? All the parrots. Oh, wow! Did you hear that? It's coming out of that cave or something. So they can't hear because they go deep in the cave, deep in the back of the cave, and they teach you how to play veena and how to sing and how to, so that you can get, when you get your degree from the Govardhan Music School, then at the right time, the right place, you'll be called by Lita Sakhi or Vishaka or Rupa Manjari to perform your maiden performance. Now you go sing some nice song to break Radharani's man or whatever. So now this is maybe your maiden performance. Or what do they say? Not maiden. What do they say? What's your first performance? What's the word? Premiere. This is maiden performance. I don't know. No, it's called premiere. It's called your premiere. The proper word is premiere. You can say debut also, but usually it's premiere. This is your premiere performance. So now you're there, and you're in a kunj, in Radhakund, in the grove, Lita's grove, and Sham and Shama are there, and they're listening to your singing. So why Krishna is listening to your singing, he turns to look at Radharani, and Radharani is just looking at her manjari, and she's moving her head like this, keeping in time with the song, the manjari is singing, and then maybe the manjari is also playing veena while she's singing, and Radharani is enjoying because the manjari is singing for the pleasure of Radharani, because she's Radha Sneha Adhika. Her love is for Radharani, her affection, her attention, everything is for Radharani. And of course Shyam is there also, and he's also listening. But whether he likes it or not, the manjari doesn't care. She really doesn't care. But of course, she knows automatically that if she sings in such a way that Radharani's pleased, automatically Krishna will be very pleased. But Krishna is not really paying attention to the song. But Radharani is just going like this, relishing. But what is Shyam doing? He's looking at Radharani's face. He's relishing Radharani's relish. Radharani's relishing the singing of her manjari, of her kinkari, Amar kinkari, her kinkari, and so Krishna is looking and he's noticing that Radharani's face is completely nirmal, completely spotless, and what does he mean by spotless? Does that mean there's no pimples on her face? No. It's not. This is not the meaning of nirmal. This is one meaning, external. Everything has so many meanings. Nirmal means no dirt. So we also have a term called nirmal prem. So does that mean prem without pimples? Prem without spots? No. It means pure. This nirmal prem means there's nothing mixed inside there. There's nothing mixed in that prem. There's no selfishness. There's no calculation. There's nothing. Nirmal prem. So this nirmal, we say Varana mandalam nirmalam, that the orb of Radharani's face is spotless. What does this nirmal mean? Spotless means there's no stain. Stain means there's no sign of distress. Her face, she's completely relishing. She's just relishing. There's no distress, and there's no stains of distress or pride or worry. She's feeling very, very happy, very relaxed. Her face is full of happiness and peace and joy and relaxed. There's no tension lines, and she's not furrowing her eyebrow or worried and tense. And Krishna is looking, oh, such a beautiful face I've never seen. So beautiful. So her face is glowing, Radharani's face is glowing with a bright beauty of delight as she softly smiles. So this first part is explained in this phrase. He's singing the pastime, Prabhupada Saraswati, and his Sakhi, his Sarupavesh, and Sakhi Sarupavesh. He's singing this Vadana Mandalam Nirmalam. And then there's a second part here. It says that the Kanti Puraspuran. This Kanti Puraspuran. This Kanti means, like we say, that Krishna, he has come into this world and he's assumed the Kanti and the Bhav of Radharani. The Mahabhav of Radharani and the Kanti. The Kanti means the effulgence, the Tej, the Jyoti, the light. And Kanti also means the light of her love. Because this Mahabhav also has a color. Every type of love, every type of prema, transcendental love, has a particular rung or color. So the color of Mahabhav is Tapta Kanchana Gold Rangi. Tapta Kanchan. Gold, if you take gold and melt it, or they call it smelting, you melt it, and then when you melt it, it takes intense heat to melt gold, and then some junk comes to the surface, some dirt that's inside the gold, just like when you melt butter. You melt butter, you get some solid particles come to the wax, and different things come to the surface, and you scrape that off, and you keep cooking the ghee over low temperature for a long time, like 14 hours, and keep taking off that, then you finally get what is known as ghee. This is really ghee. It takes 14 hours to make. If you make something in a few hours, it's not ghee, it's called butter oil. That's butter oil. Ghee is an extraordinary thing. We used to make, as I was temple president, we used to make ghee. Take all night, you have to make it. It takes 12 to 14 hours. Prabhupada taught us how to make it. Taught the devotees, not us directly, but devotees who taught us. So that's ghee, and then when you cook with that, then it's really fantastic taste from all the prasad. So gold is prepared the same way. They melt it and they scoop off that stuff, and then they let it get hard. That's like 10 carat or whatever. Then they melt it again and scoop off the stuff, and melt it and scoop off, melt it and scoop off. And when you melt the gold 1,000 times and clear off all that residue that comes, the residue that comes to the surface, then you have really brilliant gold. That's like 100 carat gold, 1,000 carat. No, but they never go beyond 24. They have 10 carat, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 24 carat, is that it?
Yes.
That's the highest. Well, Radharani is like 10,000 carat. 10,000 carat gold, 10 million carat. So that's the Kanti. So Kanti Puraspuran. So this is the color, that's the color of Mahabhav. That brilliant golden color. It's just like blinding, brilliant gold. That's the color of Radharani's body. Because her body is simply a window to her heart. Radharani's body is a window to her heart, and her heart is an ocean of Mahabhav. So her form is called Mahabhav Sarup. So her form is nothing but that Mahabhav. Her arms, everything is that Mahabhav. So that's the Kanti. So Krishna took that Kanti, that color, and that Mahabhav, that heart, and became Gauranga. So this phrase, Kanti Purasporan, is described that she manifests this complete Kanti. So there's some description of that also. That when Radharani's face, this is another attribute of her face that is glowing with this Kanti. She manifests, Radharani's face glows with the bright beauty of delight as she softly smiles at her lover and speaks intimate words with him to fill him, Krishna, with enchantment. So this is the meaning of that phrase. That phrase, Kanti Purasporan. So this is another description, another attribute of Radharani's face, is that it's very brilliant, and she manifests, not only is it brilliant, but when she speaks to Krishna, when she says some sweet, intimate words to Krishna, some loving words to Krishna, Sham Sundar, Sham, and then that Kanti, that brilliance reveals the Kanti, reveals her own delight of her love. The delight of her love is revealed in the shine or splendor of her face. And that's a fact. And when one's heart is saturated with love, then that love shines on the face. Srila Prabhupada used to say that the face is the index of the mind. If the mind is black, the face is black. And the blacker the mind, the blacker the face. But the point is that as one's heart becomes more brilliant, then one emanates that brilliance through his eyes and through his face. So now there's another statement here, another phrase, that another aspect of Radharani's face. Manogya Navapalavadara Manichata. Well, this is C. This should be over here, I guess. Easier to deal with. This phrase is here in the verse. Manogya Navapalava Adhara. Navapalavadara Manogya. And Adhara means lips, and Mani means ruby, and Chata means radiance. So Radharani's face, of course, her eyes, we heard about her eyes, and we heard about the radiance, we heard about the orb of her face, and Krishna is observing all this. Remember, the Manjari is singing the song, and Krishna is observing all this. So now this is another effect of Radharani, that her lips are palava adhara. Palava means like the bud of a tree, a leaf bud. Sometimes you see, if you examine trees during the springtime, when they start to get new leaves, and the leaves, of course, will stay for some time, especially in the spring, this is visible. When there's a flower bud and a leaf bud. Flower bud, it's like you're much more familiar, but a leaf bud, you have to be a little more. Very reddish and pink and very soft. So her feet, and Prabhupada Saraswati, he's describing Radharani's adhara. Adhara means her lips, her adhara. There's one name for Lord Jagannath called Raktadhara, because I met one Pandit who was living next to me in Puri one year, for a couple of months. He was trying to teach me some Sanskrit, but it was kind of a joke. But at any rate, his name was Pandit Raktadhara. And I said, Raktadhara. I said, that means like red lips or something. Rakta means. And then he said, you know what my name means? I said, well, it means red lips. I was only thinking of the Rolling Stones or something like that. And he said Rakta Dhara, and he looked at him. He said, he said Jagannath, and he smiled. He's a Purivasi Pandit, and he said, this is a very affectionate name for Lord Jagannath, and this is how people in Puri address. We don't say Jagannath, we say Rakta Dhara. That person with the big red lips, right? Jagannath has big red lips. Rakta Dhara. Why? Why are his lips so red? Because he's looking at Manogya Nava Pallava Dhara Mani. He's looking at Radharani. His Pallava Dhara Mani. Radharani's lips are Pallava, they're very soft. If you were to touch her lips, they're very soft like Pallava Dhara Mani. Mani means ruby. Mani means jewel. In this case, it means ruby because it's used in relation to lips. So you can't say that money means diamond because lips aren't white. And you can't say money means jewel. But what type of money? What type of jewel? And you can't say money means yellow sapphire because her lips aren't yellow. She doesn't have jaundice. So in this case, money must mean ruby. So this is why the translation Pallavadara Mani means her lips are very soft, like a leaf bud, like a fresh leaf. If you want to know how soft Radharani's lips are, then you can go to a tamal tree. Go to a tamal tree and look for a very, very new leaf. A very, very new leaf, a very fresh leaf at the very tip, and just touch that leaf. And you can know how soft that is. Radharani's lips are even softer than that. Because that's the description that's used to describe Krishna's the skin, we can say the body of Krishna. The body of Krishna is considered to be softer than a newly unfurled tamal leaf. So you can feel that, you can understand, this is the softness of Krishna's body. And Radharani's lips are even softer than that, naturally. It must be. So now, Mani, Pallavadara Mani, they're red, they're very naturally red, and she doesn't have to use lipstick or lip balm. Of course she does, sometimes she uses lipstick. Just to leave her mark on Krishna. Because if she didn't have any lipstick, then no one would know that she owns Krishna. Because when you get something, sometimes you write your name on it, especially in ISKCON. I remember we used to have to write our name on our kopans. But you don't write your name, you write initials. M.D. Right? M.D. means Mahanidhi Das. Or your socks. It was so funny, I can remember, because everything's washed together. Someone does the laundry, all the brahmacharis' laundry is washed together, because you're not going to have 20 guys washing your clothes, because it wastes so much time. So one guy gathers everybody's clothes. So then he washes it, then you have to give it out. He's not like some Vrindavan Dobi. Vrindavan Dobis have this kind of special mind, they can remember everybody's clothes. They have this special Dobi samskara. If you're born as a Dobi, then you have this special chip inside your brain. It's called laundry chip. And this laundry chip enables you to remember whose socks are whose saris are whose cholis are whose. And they wash all the clothes together like everybody. And then they fold it up and say, this is so-and-so das's. And every night they come to the guest house and give everybody exactly their laundry. And they don't write anything down, and it's unbelievable. You ever dealt with a Dobi? It's unbelievable. Because they have a special Dobi microchip, in their brain. But the brahmacharis in the West, we don't have such a microchip in our software. So when they did the laundry, everybody had to write their name on the end. So you see, like some devotees, they write on the back right here. So you're walking behind somebody on kirtan, and the magic marker on his back of his kurta says MD or MS. Or on his socks, we have these socks, saffron socks, and say MD on it. Sometimes people say, what is it? Your socks? Why do you have something written on your socks? The Hare Krishnas are so goofy and so silly. Of course, now everything's more sophisticated, but in those days we're really not too sophisticated, and people had so much fun making fun of the Hare Krishnas. So Radharani, this is why she wears lipstick, so she can put her mark on Krishna. So when Krishna goes somewhere, someone can say, look at that mark, that's Radharani's lipstick. I think that means you belong to Radharani. I mean, she owns you. You're the property of Radharani. Property of San Quentin prison. Right? They have these shirts, property of San Quentin, or these prisons. So this is, Radharani wears lipstick, not to brighten her lips, because her lips are so dull and unattractive. She wants to make them attractive. And not to match her color of her sari or something. If you wear a green sari, you have to wear green lipstick. And if you wear a pink sari, you have to wear pink lipstick. And there's 3,000 colored lipstick, right? But she only wears lipstick so she can mark Krishna. And Krishna likes it also. She wears lipstick for the pleasure of Krishna. Everything she wears, everything she does, everything she says is for Krishna's pleasure. Samanogya Navapalavadara Mani. So when Krishna sees these lips, the beautiful lips of Radharani, then what happens? Manogya. He becomes bewildered. He becomes enchanted. Srimati's beautiful, fresh, sprout-like lips glitter wonderfully like rubies to reveal the enchanting beauty of her splendid face and her pearl-like teeth. So sometimes Radharani smiles and shows her beautiful teeth, pearl-like teeth. Another quality is mentioned here is Sundaram Charan Makara Kundalam. Sundaram Charana, what does it say? It says, I don't even see it there. Oh yeah, there it is. Sundaram Charan Makara Kundalam. Makara Kundalam means these dolphin-shaped earrings or crocodile-shaped earrings. Sundaram Charan. That these, this charan means they're very beautiful, and they're always dancing. And there's some. I heard one of my Brahmin friends from Vrindavan. He was describing that the reason when the gopis run to meet Krishna, it described that their earrings are dancing. Her earrings are dangling while she laughs and speaks with Shyam, enhances the beauty of her face. So this is being described here. So when she's sitting with Shyam, the Manjari Kinkari singing a song, and Radharani is going like this, listening to the song, relishing the song, swaying her head side to side. And Krishna, he's not really paying much attention to the song, because it's not being sung for him anyway. But he's hearing it, and he's understanding that something nice is being sung, because it's all about him and it's all about her. It's all about Radha and Krishna, the Manjari singing. But Krishna is looking at Radharani's face, and he's admiring all these different aspects, her beautiful lips, and he's feeling so enchanted. Manogya. Manogya means his mind is being lost. He's losing any awareness of his own mind. This is what Manogya means. Gya means knowledge, and Man means mind. Man Gya means to know your mind, to have knowledge of your mind. And Manogya means you don't know about your mind. You lost your mind. Your mind has gone elsewhere. Manogya. Become enchanted, captivated. So he's captivated. Oh, these lips. And sometimes when Radharani is swaying her head, she hears some particular description that the Manjari is singing in her song about Krishna touching Radharani in some funny way. Then Radharani smiles. And when she smiles at that time, her eyes are still closed, and Krishna sees her beautiful teeth peeking out and shining out between her beautiful red lips, and then he feels so happy. And when Radharani is swaying her head, then her earrings are also dangling. And the earrings are dangling, and they're very brilliant. They're made of gold, very brilliant gold, and maybe there's some jewels set inside. So if there's any light or even a reflection of Krishna's face, Krishna's brilliant face reflects off those earrings of Radharani, and then that shines on Radharani's face and makes her face look so beautiful, beautiful lighting to her face. So these earrings, reflecting the light of Krishna's face, increases the beauty of Radharani's face as they're dangling when she's moving her. So Krishna sees that enhanced beauty of Radharani's face, which is due to the reflection of his own face bouncing off her earrings, and he becomes so much enchanted and appreciating so much. But my friends were describing when the gopis go out to meet Krishna in the forest, and he plays on the flute, describe that their earrings are dancing, because they're running. So their Makara Kundala are dancing. So the acharyas, these Rasika acharyas, they ask a question. Bhagavatam is saying their earrings are dancing, but why are they dancing? Are they dancing because they're running? Because it says they're running and the earrings are dangling and dancing. Because this makes sense. This is the external understanding. If you have earrings like this and you're running, then they're going to dance. But they say no. Actually, these earrings are dancing. They're actually not dancing, but they're trembling. Why are they trembling and shaking? Why are these earrings trembling and shaking? Because they're full of fear. Why are they full of fear? Because these earrings, makara kundala, they're makara kundala, they're shaped like a makara. Makara is the carrier of Cupid, Kamadev. Kamadev's Viman is a makar. Just like Vishnu rides on Garuda, the eagle, and Brahma rides on a swan. Well, Kamadev, the Lord of lust, the Lord of love, material lust or love, his carrier is a makar, which is called Capricorn. In English, it's called Capricorn. This is the makar. This is makar rasi. Makar rasi is Capricorn, January. So this makar. So this is Capricorn. So makar. So he rides on his makar. So makar kundala, they're trembling and shaking in fear because Krishna is playing the flute, and Krishna is the transcendental Kamadev, and he's defeated. He's defeated. The material Kamadev was defeated so many times by Krishna. That's why he's called Madan Mohan. Then Madan Mohan is playing that flute. Oh, Madan Mohan's playing that flute, and he's defeated me so many times. And now I'm sitting here on these makar because Kamadev was sitting on the gopis makar, and he's, oh my God, they're running to Madan Mohan. And he's defeated me so many times. I tried to defeat him in the rasa dance, and I fainted unconscious when I saw his beauty. And now they're running to that same person who's defeated me. They're running to that Madan Mohan who's bewildered Madan me. So the God of love is sitting on top of the gopis makara kundala because that's his carrier, that makara. So he's trembling because he's trembling and the makara are trembling, so the earrings are trembling and shaking. That's why the gopis' earrings are trembling when they're running to Krishna at Vamshivat. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. So this is what the Rasikacharyas bring out of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are known as Bhagavat Gan. Bhagavat Gan. Vrindavan Das Thakur described that the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are known as Bhagavat Gan. That group who swim in the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. They relish, they talk about matchita matgata pranas bodhiyantas parasparam. Gata yantas chamam nityam tushanti cha ramanti cha. Matchita matgata pranas. They're always discussing these topics and relishing with each other. In this way they feel great tushti, satisfaction, and bliss, ramanti. And they become Atmaram, they become full of Raman, self-satisfaction, simply by hearing Harikatha. They don't want anything else in life. They don't aspire for or hanker for anything else in life but Harikatha. Aniyor, Aniyor, Aniyor. Let me hear more. So, we also hear about, in this verse, we heard about the Makara Kundala, and the last point about Radharani's face is being described here by Prabhupada Saraswati. He mentions Chakita Charu Netra Anchalam. Chakita Charu Netra Anchalam. Anchalam means corner, Netra means eye. Charu means beautiful. And Chakita means startled. So this means that sometimes Radharani's eyes, she becomes startled. Startled means like like this. What's that? Startled. Her eyes become startled. So that question has to be asked: why do Radharani's eyes startle? So sometimes Radharani, with the corners of her restless eyes, she relishes the beauty of her lover's face, and sometimes she anxiously stares at him. And this one of these is not told here. But and then she thinks, oh, what if one of my girlfriends or anyone else would show up? How beautiful Radharani's startled eyes look. With enchanted eyes, Sham relishes the beauty of that face of Srimati's. So there's a couple of different things being said here. Sometimes when Radha and Krishna are together, Krishna falls asleep because he's exhausted. And Radharani is resting on top of Krishna, and she's looking at Krishna, admiring his eyes, his long eyelashes, and his beautiful dancing eyebrows, and his beautiful blissful face. And she's looking, and she's admiring Krishna's beautiful eyes, even though they're shut. They're so beautiful. Whether Krishna's eyes are open or shut, they're unlimitedly beautiful when they're open, and they're even unlimitedly more beautiful when they're closed. Because when they're closed, Radharani can relish the opening of.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, honey is to those who get cold. Pepper and honey makes it because it has a cooling tendency. This juice, so it can give some taste.
That seems like that's
If you want lemon, we can add lemon. We can add lemon.
Yes.
You want to squeeze some lemon? Yeah. Honey is okay. Without honey.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, better. Hmm? You want something?
No, she's try yesterday. She's not even feeling fine. She was so
Yes, yes, seriously. Seriously, that was worried than what I said. That was on the birthday, what I was saying. She wrote me and was disturbed about it.
Why?
Some things I've been thinking. I will talk about more serious. Take over. That's what. Anything about that?
No. She said now she's 22. Because yesterday she called me and she asked me to send her some money. So I did. So she was like, she's feeling she's of age to take care of her needs by herself, but she doesn't have a desire to do any outside work apart from her devotional service and all that. And whenever she thinks, okay, I should go and do it, she always have that dream of don't do it. Like the last time she said she wants to go and look for a job. The next day she dreamed that a king came to worship her. So you're like, you're a queen, you're not supposed to go anywhere. Stay here, we'll take care of you. So she just, and the moment she had that, she feel it, she doesn't go anywhere. And before you know, she start falling sick. So I told her you should relax, don't push it. If you need anything, if I have, I'll give to you. My brother will give you. But everybody is complaining that she's staying at home. Going to, either she's going to the temple or she's just at home. And who are schoolmates, everybody's working or they're going to school. So I asked her, what do you want? She said the only desire that she has in mind is right from the time she was saying butcher, taking care of cows, producing milk and all that. So that's the only desire she wants to do. But other outside job, going to learn or going to search for work. Anytime she told me this, they stop and
As I was going to say that it's all that is supposed the thing that is solving this. So it's not see out of them they don't yes. I was looking for now our cars are not taking care of our house. We hire them. We have started this and they are keeping the car not in our land. Or like meditation in our cars is doing it. That is what they're meant for. It should be on our land. They will fertilize the place, create auspicion and be on our land. But now they are not there because someone else is taking care. And you have to take them to where they are better. It is, I don't like it. I have told that since we have things our place now. That's to take them to find. But they don't have there. Is the present place I built a heart, but they're not saying it. I gave the actual money, I gave the money to do Basha. So I don't know, it is useless. I don't even know they even said it for you. After they built the thing, they left. They didn't say that. They don't say that. I don't know what is happening with that thing. Maybe it's desolated. Of course, it's very close to the if they need this bush, they can hide. But it's left for them. Really inside this. I'm sure they have not caught the grass because no panic anything. It's only this one that they are. So in the future, she can move that. She can take care of them there. When they come there. For now, the possible see the government say yes. Unless if they are staying out place. So if they decide to put
I told her, but she's the one taking care of children and also looking at it is not. So
she's not mind that it's occupied.
it's not for me to.
It's occupied. See, you know what is the problem.
Yes.
See, those who are responsible, they understand. They should know what I'm saying. It's not listening to what they do. It's an image you ask. You know how to. You don't have your access. That's happening to you. When she can.
I'll go out today.
I saw that. Because
Yes, I'll go to them for 5 minutes.
you can because it's missing. I'm telling her we give it's missing people. Yes. Okay, we finish with this. You have to change the learn how to use them. It comes outside they are friendly. You move it with their friendly. Feed them, you brush them, you feed them. But still they are hostile if you get triple in them. I don't think when they were here, such a little what they did, they were friendly.
Yes, but the usual are not really busy.
When they brought them new here, they were friendly there before they started taking them. Don't think that's friendly now. But when they brought them here, They were secretly that. But they were not used to, neither they people sugarcane use on them. Use sugarcane, give them love, they need no money. But they're not used to it. So they can. They have to name it. But basically, start is the milk is what we do before you make the blood. When you stop that, they get up a certain. For this doing that side, from here, nobody goes into the correct milk.
See, I don't know what he's saying. He thinks it, and she said it.
She's telling you.
Yes. Well, that has applied to her, because you said to the Indians.
Yeah, the way we put over back. Since you do that, he's self-fulfilling and singing. And they will send by truck. You don't have to do that. You can send it in
Our cows.
our kind, no, I don't think it. Of course, because they are giving birth. I think two of them are delivered. They can't deliver without me. Maybe in my did not, but at least I can. In the village there, that's it. That's where Victor was buying. It was not our own only. It's not our own. It's the way they were saying it. Yeah, there he was buying. They were selling it. And it was special, so selling it. They are supposed to go there for sure. But they are not there, they cannot. They're not going to worship. They also was, of course, integrate the camp, hide them. Try to look for all the castle. But that place is the highest. I've told the Cynthia, children in the council. He is alone, they have the group. So you take our card and go and join them. The couple is also good. It's not what that. So I think sometimes it can go to they would be out soon. You know, the brother is.
Papaya, yes.
You right?
It's not for me, like, just.
Well, I didn't go to this. This is soft. Okay, I didn't also see, you know, soft. I can see.
It's not for me.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Orange, for your delicious prasad. See you later. Good day. Hare Krishna.